today's sermon is, what does Good Friday means to you? Our scripture reading you can read in your spare time is taken from Matthew's Gospel, the 27th chapter, verse 11 to 54. You can go and read that in your spare time to support this sermon. And my text is taken from the book of Corinthians, 1 Corinthians, that is, chapter 1, verse 18. For the preaching of the cross is to them that perish foolishness, but unto us which are saved it is the power of God. In our text, the apostle had to explain to the Corinthians the meaning of Good Friday. Apparently, they had forgotten. For the 101 times, I must also use the word remember to you. It would seem that Alzheimer's has been around a long time, and as though the people of God are the most recipients of it. How often have we read God telling his people to remember? Paul, in this letter, had to address an issue which was taking first place in the church at Corinth. There was 4 mini churches in one assembly. One for Paul, one for Peter, one for Apollos, and one for Christ. He asked them, is Christ divided? Was Paul crucified for you? He went on to give his history of how many people he baptized. It was just a few, so he could have called names, and he thanked God for that. He said God had not called him to baptize, but to preach. Not with wisdom of words, lest the cross should become of no effect. The thing that probably grieved Paul the most is that which was taking place in the world outside is what he saw was happening inside of the church. At that time, the Hellenistic or Greek culture was ripe and full of adherents and followers. For the Greeks seek after wisdom, but the Jews require a sign. At the time, a number of groups, or to use the right word, religions, emerged from the Greek mythology with their own brand of doctrine. We will recall also that Rome was in power at the time, for there has been the existing world power after the Greeks. So there was a mixture of Greek and Roman culture. In addition, the Jews had their own brand of religion. Points to note, Paul was versed in all of these. He was a Pharisee of the Pharisees, well learned in Greek culture and a Roman citizen. I mention those things not to let you know that I know them, but to let you know why Paul was concerned for the believers at Corinth. That is the reason he had to remind them about Good Friday and what it truly meant. What I gathered from Paul's exhortation is that the saints had lost their focus. They had forgotten what was taking place around them. There were people who had not come to the knowledge of Christ and were searching for him, while they professed to have him. and lost the true meaning of what he meant. In other words, they only sing and rescue the perishing from their heart, and not, or from their lips rather, and not from their hearts. Paul, people around them were dying, and they were fighting for truth. Today, we are in a similar situation like the time of Paul. The world has reached an advanced stage with knowledge and technology. This is the age of information. The prophet Daniel prophesied about this age when he said that knowledge shall increase. We no longer have to build a tower to reach heaven. Just launch a rocket, or for that matter, a shuttle, and we are there. We did not see God, but we drew closer to his geographic location. Men are seeking for God. This is evident. Just look at the number of churches we have today. How many religions we have today? I checked with Wikipedia, as if they also are afraid to give a number, because there are so many. The church today is full of challenges, just as the early church was filled with bears. Our issues may be different, but they are real. For instance, just this week, I read about a controversy over the Miss Universe competition, whether Jenna Talakova should be allowed to enter the competition. She had been a man and now is a woman. Recently, a South African woman athlete ran and won a race, and they had to subject to a number of tests to prove whether she was woman or not. The list of similar cases is very long, in so much that it has reached inside the church, even among the clergy. The Pope had to rebuke some priests this week for suggesting that women should be ordained as priests, and priests should be allowed to marry. In fact, same-sex marriage are allowed in some churches. You know, it's funny, just this week in class that I attend, that for computer studies, some students were given a form to fill out, and on that form, in the group where it says gender, there were 3 check boxes, one for male, one for female, and there was a question mark on the other checkbox. So a controversy started in the class. What does this question mark meant? The student sitting next to me, I told her there are other genders among humans beside male and female. That led to something else, and her explanation saying any other gender is as a result of sin. She professed to be a Christian. We as Christians are faced with many challenges that the early church did not have to contend with. For instance, in the early church, medical science had not reached to the level that requests can be made to alter one's gender. We move on. Today we are celebrating Good Friday. Is it just another holiday to you? Is it today a time to read about the passion as we did earlier on? Do you remember the cross only around this time? Do we have a holy life only when Holy Week comes around? What about the other 51 weeks of the year? You may answer, yes, Minister Mapp, I wear the cross all the time. I do not remove it when I am taking a shower. And I have a ring too. I always have a Bible in my home, in my office, and in my car. Some of us even have little portions of scripture wrapped in parchment paper around our waist. That is what they call their guard, and is for their protection. It is also called an amulet. The message you are listening to is telling you to take the cross and the ring from the outside and place it on the inside in your heart. Get rid of the guard. Satan is not afraid of that. I am not here to repeat what we read this morning. You know the account very well. In fact, around this time, many churches are showing Mel Gibson's The Passion of the Christ. And go watch it. I am here to ask you, is this what Good Friday means to you? I am very sorry for you. Does Gethsemane means anything to you? Or have you forgotten those drops of blood that he sweated on his knees while his friends were sleeping? What does the name Pontius Pilate means to you? What does Calvary means to you? What about the crown of thorns, the wounds in his hands, feet, side, and the stripes upon his back? Did not Isaiah say that he was wounded for our transgressions? Did he not say that he was bruised for our iniquities, and the chastisement of our peace was upon him, and the Lord had laid upon him the iniquity of us all? Did not he say, by his stripes we are healed? When he cried, my God, why hast thou forsaken me? When he was thirsty, were you there? Did you give him drink? What does the words, it is finished, means to you? Are you betraying him for some earthly cause, for some material benefit? God is minding us today that we must not be fussing and fighting over things that are of no benefit to us or to others. God is reminding us that what we have received from Jesus Christ's sacrificial death on Calvary should be the focus of our lives. That he should be at the forefront of everything we do. The cross should mean to us what it meant to Paul. For he said, I am crucified with Christ. And again, I do not want to hear anything except Jesus Christ and him crucified. Minister Mapp, I am not Paul. God is not finished with me yet. I advise you, go check and see if he has started with you at all. God bless you and enjoy your Good Friday.